Hello and welcome to this presentation for the Appcetera custom login plugin. So I've already uploaded the plugin to my WordPress installation and I'll just activate it, and that will give us our welcome screen. It'll also make a few small changes to the login page immediately. This is what it was before. As you see, there's no logo there. And this is it afterwards. We've tidied it up and made sure the WordPress logo is being displayed. It's amazing how many themes don't have the logo displayed properly. So to use the plugin, we'll find it in the settings screen, custom login. And we have four sections. We have the main features, the logo, the background, and the login box controls. Main features, first of all, allow us to change some of the features of the login. The first thing is the lost password link, which is this one here. Now, some people like to have that removed, and the option is available for you to remove it. Or what you can do is you can also change the custom text. Obviously, this will affect the internationalization of the site because it will not translate to different languages, but you can change the login text if you really feel you want to do that. You can also change the text for the back to link. There's the back to link there. If we refresh, you'll see how the lost your password message has been changed, and the back to link, we can do the same thing. We can remove it, or we can change to custom text. As you see, it's just back to, and then it's the name of the site, but we can change it to something else. The last thing we can change as far as message is concerned is the login error message. Now, I don't like the login error messages because they're actually too helpful. If I put in a username and then hit login, I'm told the password field's empty. So it's being a bit helpful. Now, if I'm trying to find out what is in this system, then that's a bit helpful for me. It's also even more helpful now because I've now told me the password for the username admin is incorrect. So it's now suggesting to me that admin may be the correct username. Because if I try that username and then a password, you see it tells me that was an invalid username. So I now know that admin's a valid username. Now, to me, that's a security risk. I'm afraid I would prefer to be less helpful and change the error message to a generic one. So now if I enter admin, it comes up with one incorrect. Still says incorrect. It still says incorrect. I think that is preferable in these days of illicit hacking going on. The other thing I don't like is that shake every time you get something wrong. It's quite a neat feature, but I don't like it. So again, you can turn that off if you want to. And if you're using the system a lot and you want it to remember the Remember Me button to be checked, if I save changes, shake will have gone. It has. And the Remember Me is checked automatically, so I remember who I am when I log in. Alright, but I don't want to log in because we're looking at a login page, so I'll just leave it back as default again. So we've gone from that to that. Now the next thing we can do is we can change the logo at the top. We can add any logo image you like. We run on the media manager, so you can upload a file of your own. And here are some I've uploaded already. So let's have an Appcetera logo to start with, and that now takes over as the logo at the top. Automatically resize the width of the box, keep them in line. We can remove the logo, put another logo in, but we leave that one there for the starters. The next thing we can do is we can change the background. so we can have a color. So let's have a mauve, just to look garish. There we are. After we've changed the background color, we could then put a background image on top, which will tend to stretch. Now I suggest you don't use backgrounds with wording in, because they can appear behind the box and look a little bit weird. So I would remove that image and set a background image like that. Save changes, refresh. That's better. And if you really want to show off, you can use a YouTube video. Now I don't have a YouTube video to use at the moment, so what I've done is I've just jumped onto the internet and picked up a YouTube video here, which has just got some photographer talking about backgrounds. So when we remember which tab to press, we cut and paste the YouTube video code in there. The plugin will just grab the YouTube code, it doesn't want the rest of the YouTube bit, so it'll grab the YouTube code. And this is the width of the screen. I prefer that to 800 actually, but that's the minimum screen size that the YouTube video will play in. So there we are, my nice big screen YouTube video plays, and there's a stop video button always up here. And you'll notice that the video fits in the screen. It doesn't stretch and distort, it just fits within. So we want to get rid of it, we can stop it. And do you notice that when I get to that 800 width, the YouTube video is turned off? And the background replaces it. And I think I've just closed the other window. I have. Okay, so let's go back to a static image background before we go to the next section. Otherwise we'll have videos playing all the time. So the last section, the fourth section, is defining the login box. Now we can change the width of the login box a little bit, make it a bit smaller, a bit bigger. We can also change the background color of the box. Question is what we're going to set it to. We've got that, haven't we? So let's have a dark blue. Now the other thing you can do with these color image systems here is you can change the opacity, all right, from 1, which is 100%, down. I'll make it about 85%. Now the opacity means that the image background will be slightly see-through, which can look quite cool. You can see the background through it. So you may find that's a good way of doing things. Now this means of course that this text now is not very easy to see. So what we need to do is to go down here to the text and the label text, the words, we need to make that white, I think, to make it contrast. We'll leave the text color as black. I think we'll make that a little bit. Let's try making that a bit smaller, see how that looks. No, it's too small. That's better. And then the word letters here in black, that's fine. We can also change the button. We can change the color of it and the mouse over color as well. Maybe a darker blue. Whoops, that's not blue. And then deep red. That's not not going to show up. Okay, so yep, I like that. That's all right. And the last little feature we can have is we can make the bottom text, so we could make that background the same color. So I could copy that, paste it into, get that box out of the way. That's it, into that box there. Need this to be white, then to be seen. And that way that box looks part of the box above it. And the last thing we can do is we can play around with the border around. Now this is only around the top box, so if we do that at the bottom, it's going to look a bit weird. Let me show you how it looks. Okay, you may not like that, so what you might want to do, and this is why we've given you all the values. You can have different ones. Actually, what I like doing is doing what I call a lopsided box, like that. There we are. And if we make it a dotted line and thicker, you can get some nice effects as well. These are not all the effects we could have actually offered you. We are thinking of adding some more, but there we are. So those are the features that we have made available, and the last button is to have the overview video and the training video. So one of this video I'm recording is going to end up here, and then we'll have a longer training video underneath it. The last thing that I'd like to talk about is compatibility. Now this is not a replacement, this is an enhancement to the standard login page, and that means that if you're using something like the Google Authenticator, which is something we use for adding more security to logins. So if I activate that, you see that this is going to flip over, automatically fits within the login page. So we are compatible with that. We can also add the CAPTCHA, although I wouldn't have both of them at the same time really. So if I add the CAPTCHA and take out the Google Authenticator, you see that works as well, although you might want to resize the box to use that one. So that's it, that's the plugin. Thank you very much for watching.